All right, let's do part two of the Monday morning news recap. I had an idea after I posted the video right before this one. I'm going to call this Headlines with Hawk, and we'll just go through some of the morning's headlines. It is Monday, January 5th. It's almost 10 a.m. West Coast time. The New Yorker magazine did a profile of Marjorie Taylor Greene, whose resignation from Congress today, January 5th, is Marjorie Taylor Greene's last day in Congress. She had to get past that 5 years so that she gets her lifetime pension and lifetime health care, guaranteed for free, paid for by us. So she's resigning from Congress. Today is her last day. It seems to be part of a broader fracturing of the Trump coalition. Said former Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy, "I don't care what occupation you have in life. When people know you by a 3-letter acronym, you've really built a following." He added that Greene is the canary in the coal mine of the Republican Party. No other lawmaker understands better or has their finger on the pulse of MAGA, America First, like the actual people that make up that coalition, than Marjorie Taylor Greene does. And she has very publicly split with Donald Trump over the Epstein files. And it was reported last week, she said in another profile that when she confronted Trump about that, he was berating her for signing the discharge petition that led to the Epstein Transparency Act passing Congress almost unanimously. He said, "We can't release all of this stuff. My friends will get hurt." Donald Trump knows who the co-conspirators are, and he knows what they did. He has seen the files. And that is why Marjorie Taylor Greene is leaving the Republican Party, leaving Congress today, because she wouldn't agree to cover up what's in the Epstein files for Donald Trump's friends. From the Washington Post, so overnight Donald Trump posted to Truth Social like 80 or 90 times. One of the things that he posted was, he posted a lot of stuff. Conspiracy theories about fraud in Minnesota. He was attacking Somali people. And he retweeted a baseless conspiracy theory that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz orchestrated and ordered the assassination of State Representative Melissa Hortman last year, along with her husband, and the shooting of another Democratic lawmaker in Minnesota and his spouse as well. So this is what the President of the United States is doing rather than running Venezuela. And the thing about the pettiness of what happened in Venezuela, the President Maduro, who's a terrible, awful tyrant and human being, but our removal of him still violated international law in any number of ways. He had been posting videos making fun of Donald Trump's little YMCA dance. And that apparently was the last straw for Donald Trump. So he ordered the military takeover of another sovereign nation that posed no threat to us because the president of that country was posting videos making fun of Donald Trump. So cool. And then he also refused to acknowledge or even be respectful towards Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, who actually beat Maduro in an election, but he just stayed in power anyway. A person close to the White House, quoted by the Washington Post, said the following: "If she had turned it down and said, 'I can't accept it because it's Donald Trump's,' she would be the president of Venezuela today." That person was referring to the Nobel Peace Prize and Donald Trump's grievance and refusal to install her as the rightful president of Venezuela, because she accepted the Nobel Peace Prize when he felt that he deserved it. When she accepted it, she dedicated it to him. She dedicated that victory and that prize to Donald Trump. But because she accepted that award, that's the reason why she is not president of Venezuela today, because Donald Trump is a butthurt little titty baby. That's our president, guys. Speaking of Venezuela, Donald Trump is planning to put Stephen Miller in charge of Venezuela. Stephen Miller loves torture and violence and punishment almost as much as Donald Trump does. And, he has told ICE and CBP officers basically to be as violent as possible when arresting people and when dealing with protesters and things like that. And I mean, I don't know, man. I think that Stephen Miller walks around all day wearing very, very tight nipple clamps, self-hating Jew that he is. The White House is giving Stephen Miller, Trump's deputy White House chief of staff and Homeland Security advisor, a more elevated role in overseeing post-Maduro operations in Venezuela, according to reports in the Washington Post. Continuing on about Venezuela, there's a columnist named Ankush Khardori, Ankush Khardori. I very, very much appreciate this columnist's work. I've been following them for quite some time. Quoting from an article, Why Trump's Venezuela Intervention is Different. The Trump administration has illegally abducted the leader of Venezuela, a country that has engaged in no hostilities with the United States, and he's done so without even the appearance of an effort to enlist the support of the American public or their elected representatives in Congress, and without even the semblance of a stated plan for how the country will be governed. A key point. What happens next on the ground in Venezuela is anyone's guess at this point, but it is also a logical consequence of our current political situation, one in which Congress and the Supreme Court have largely let Trump have his way since returning to office. There is, however, nothing permanent about this arrangement, and the public has the power to change it. Boy, they sure do, man. While you were sleeping, President Trump posted on Truth Social 89 times between 12:45 a.m. and 1:40 a.m. That's like posting every 45 seconds. Obsessing over election conspiracy theories, attacking Somali immigrants in Minnesota, and threatening his next military target, which is either going to be Greenland, Colombia, or Cuba. Cool. I'm going to save that one. Let's see here. Old headaches will plague Mike Johnson in the new year. Congress is back for the new year, but Speaker Mike Johnson isn't exactly getting a fresh start in 2026. I mean, they were basically off for like 5 months after the 4th of July so that Mike Johnson could cover for Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Mike Johnson spent the majority of his work year last year covering for Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Great work there, Mr. Speaker. The House returns from the holiday recess to confront old issues that continue to bedevil Mike Johnson, from politically perilous battles over health care and the ongoing release of the Epstein files to messy intra-GOP fight over lawmakers' stock trading and another government shutdown cliff. That January 31st, the government runs out of money on January 31st, so we get to do this shit all over again. Oh, wow. And Democrats apparently are not going to use healthcare as a leverage point this time around. Great work, Dems. Keep up the great fight.